Welcome back to Deep Roots Family Homestead. If you're new here, I'm Deanna. Thanks for joining us. We're going to talk seeds today. I'm going to have a cat helper, apparently, because I'm sitting on the floor of my kitchen. I live in a trailer parked on 26 acres. We have a shop building, which we are parked inside. My husband uses it part shop to build timber frame structures. And we're in North Idaho, and I'm glad you're here. Grab a cup of coffee or tea or your favorite drink. Today we're going to talk seeds. The thing is, I'm not a super great seed keeper, okay? I'm going to show you here my very, dilapidated box of seeds. So I bought this beautiful tin at a local consignment store, and this is where I keep my seeds. So as you can see, I mean, I got bags of stuff, and I got all sorts of, somehow a catalog for Joann's, all sorts of stuff shoved in here. So we're going to sort through it. I've been collecting seeds for a long time. I tend to, if I see them at the store, I just buy them. And if there's something, sometimes I'll end up, one year I had like 6 packages of basil because I just wanted basil. And every time I went to the store, I couldn't remember if I'd ever bought that type of basil. So I did. I think one year I had like 4 or 5 cilantros, and lavender's another one I often just pick up if I see one, whether it's online or in a store. And so today I'm going to sort through, because what I also tend to do is, when you're out in the garden and you're planting, and then you have the empty seed packet, and you're like, well, I definitely want to know what this is. And if I like it, I'll buy more. So then you stick it in your pocket, and when you get home, what I do is I shove it back in my seed box. So then next year, if I haven't gone through my seeds and it's spring and I'm like, oh, I have to plant all my seeds, I will grab out all the seeds and I'll run out to the garden, and I'm like, that one's empty and that one's empty. So before we get into spring, because it is just January here still, and I'm in North Idaho, meaning our last frost date is somewhere around Mother's Day. And they say that, but like, I live on top of a mountain in probably a small microclimate. I feel like in the almost 3 years we've been here, probably closer to June 1st. There are things I can put out that I haven't because I've been nervous. This year I'm definitely going to be more bold about putting out frost hardy things earlier, and both plants and seeds, so I can kind of direct sow some things, as well as some started plants. I'm just sorting through, trying to decide what varieties I want.
If you want to, you'd say, hey, I'm getting some quiet time. The two big kids
I keep getting interrupted. Brendan's out splitting some posts today, and he came in for lunch while I was doing this. I had lunch ready for him so he could take it back outside, but he keeps popping back in to give me advice on my video. So we'll see if I take any of it. Oh, look, there he is again.
I know, every time you want to talk, this is all working. Never mind.
Okay, yeah. Okay, back to seeds. Actually, I was just taking some quiet time here with my coffee because the big kids, Gabe and Emma, are turkey hunting today at a friend's house. And then Mike and Rachel are just playing in the other camper. And so it's quiet in here. And the cat has even left me alone. So I might be able to get something done here. Basically, I'm going through and I'm sorting, things get jumbled back in here, and I'm just sorting through lettuce and kale, in one category, herbs in another, different root vegetables, etc. So when I'm going to look for something, it's easier to find. I also recently bought this planner from Kate at Venison for Dinner. If you don't follow her, you should, because while I would love to come out with some of my own products for that eventually, right now is not, that's just not where I'm at in my life and all the other chaos that's going on. So I appreciate having someone else build these things so that I can use them. So what my plan is to just make notes of things I'm out of or things I have too much of, like please don't ever buy mint again or something like that, you know, because I have so much of it. I've spent some time in my life being like, oh, it's not the perfect time. Maybe I don't have the perfect soil, especially since getting on this property. I sometimes feel like the conditions aren't perfect. What if it's too cold? What if we have another frost? I haven't quite gotten this garden bed finished. What if it doesn't grow? I definitely have a fear of failure. And after my last few weeks here, that fear is increasing. But you know what I do know? These seeds won't grow while they're in this package. So if I'm worried about growing lavender this year and saying, I don't know if it's going to grow. What if I fail? What if nothing grows? Well, you know what? It's not going to grow in this package. So plant it. I put them in the ground and I water them. You know what might happen? They might grow. If even one of them grows, I'll tell you. If even one of them grows, you've got food. Last year you saw some of my gardening videos. And we planted peas and they grew up that trellis. And goats ate them. And then cows ate them. But you know what? They made me milk. Both of them. And I drank that. So it's not a complete loss. And you know what else? I snacked on them while I was in the garden. So every one of these experiences, it's a learning experience. It's getting you closer to the gardener you want to be. You know, this isn't a gardening channel. If you want a great gardening channel, go to Roots and Refuge. And they, Jess is amazing. And she is such an inspiration to me. And she's the one who kind of pushes me to try these new things and to say, just try it. Just try it. And yes, there are ways to do things. She gives tips and tricks about all sorts of stuff. She does live in the South, so I have to kind of adapt some of that and research my own stuff in the North. But she is an inspiration of just do it. Just put the seeds in the ground because you know what? These things want to grow. I want to take that to heart and I want to really spend this year just putting stuff in the ground. Just getting it in the ground and growing whatever comes up. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but it'll be food. I want these beautiful landscaped gardens and I want them to be, you know, the aesthetic to be exactly what I'm looking for. But, you know, in the end, if this gets in the ground, it'll grow me something. And that's ideally what I'm looking for. So instead of waiting for the perfect time or the perfect day or the perfect garden, just plant something. What are you planting this year? I mean, I can't go through here and give you, oh, this is my favorite, you know, I can't go through here and say, you know, this is my favorite thing to grow or this has always worked for me because I don't have that. I haven't done this long enough to have that kind of consistent success. But what I do know is that if I keep trying, I'll eventually get there. I'll eventually have that consistent success, and I'll eventually be able to tell you guys what my favorite tomato is. Like, I think we tell ourselves we can't do these things, and then we get it in our head that I'm not a gardener, or I'm not a, you know, farmer or whatever, but you don't have to be. You can be wherever you're at in your life and still grow something. Everything's all mixed up. Again, like I said, I just come and shove it back in the box. I may need to get a better system because I actually have a lot more seeds than I probably need to fit in this small box. This is a box I started with a couple years ago, and it has grown. But again, it's because I'm afraid to put the seeds in the ground. So once I get the seeds in the ground, maybe it'll all fit back in the box. I don't know. You know, I kind of just started this organic journey of wanting to eliminate pesticides and really any processed chemicals or additives, all that kind of stuff. I kind of went on this journey of like trying to get rid of all that stuff from my food. And so I latched onto these heirloom seeds, you know, and but anyway, the point is I have since learned that it's illegal to sell genetically modified seeds to people. You just can't. Like it's illegal to sell them in the stores. That's a relief to me. I mean, honestly, because I would panic. One year I totally spaced pumpkins. I bought like butternut squash and spaghetti squash, and I didn't do pumpkins at all. So I was like, oh, it's too late. I need to get them in the ground. Like today I can't order them online from the heirloom seed company. And so I went to like, we lived close to a Lowe's, so it was probably Lowe's. And I was like, I felt horrible. Like I was like sick to my stomach and everything. And I bought the seeds and I put them in the ground. But like, I shouldn't have worried. They're not allowed to sell genetically modified seed to the common person. Heirloom is great because I'm a big proponent of like perpetuating varieties that maybe have lost style. I mean, I don't know. For instance, did you know that carrots, like the main variety of carrots, were not just orange? Like carrots come in purple and yellow and white and different shades of those, you know, and they come in all sorts. But you know what? At some point in history, somebody decided the orange carrot was desired and they started perpetuating that. And now most people think that carrots are orange and they don't know the carrots can come in all sorts of colors. And so I'm all for perpetuating that. Number one, the notion that a certain food like tomatoes, people, do not have to be red. This tomato will be just as sweet and juicy and like have such a rich flavor. But our eyes, like we eat with our eyes, right? Whenever we go to eat something, we are trained that red tomatoes are sweet and juicy and they have the perfect flavor. And that things that are yellow or green, they're kind of bland. They're not. I'm telling you, these are really good. And so don't be stuck on that. But also don't be stuck on only having heirlooms either, because there's plenty of things you can grow. I mean, there's plenty of things you can grow that are like quote unquote conventional colors, you know, like here. I have white cauliflower and I have this beautiful purple cauliflower. And I love purple cauliflower because it's vibrant and pretty. And when you ferment it, it turns the whole brine purple. And it's beautiful. And that to me is delicious. But you know what? They taste the same. The purple and the white, they both taste like cauliflower. So don't be stuck on one thing or another. If the only thing you can afford is to go to the dollar store and buy seeds and get them in the ground, please do that. Like, don't think you have to go to like specialty stores or anything like that. I just really have been a collector of these for a while because I've been a perfectionist and afraid to get them in the ground. And I'm just not going to be afraid of that anymore. Thanks for coming along and sorting seeds with me. I appreciate you being here. If you enjoy this content and you want to see more of it, first of all, hit the subscribe button and you'll get to see all the things we do. Like I said, Brendan's outside cutting fence posts. That'll be a video coming up. I am going to start a couple of different series. One's going to be on like some of the crafting. I think I talked to you guys about a hexi quilt I'm building. So I will do some videos on that throughout the next year. I mean, it's a year-long build. So I'll do a few videos on that. I will do some more gardening and seed starting videos once we get that far. Again, it's North Idaho. Need to chill out on the seed starting because it's way too early. It's January. But I'll be doing a series coming up on homeschooling, and I'll do a series on the crafting and then the seed starting. And then some of it'll just be Brendan's projects that he's working on as we go forward. Anyway, stay tuned. Hit the subscribe. hit the like button, and that way other people who also like this kind of content will see it and get us out there in the world. If you want to support us on Patreon, we would really appreciate that. It will help us buy our gardening supplies and move forward on some of our other bigger projects around the homestead that we have coming up this summer. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful day. I never know how to end these things. It's funny, when you watch other YouTubers, you have their like kind of catchphrases in your head, and so I always want to say those things, and it's not my catchphrase, and so I don't want to copy anybody else. I need to come up with my own, I'm thinking. Anyway, thanks for being here. We'll see you next time. Tell me, how do you sort your seeds? Do you keep them in individual envelopes, in a big basket, in a box? Do you sort them by type? Do you get those really cool little photo plastic boxes that I've seen people have where they're all like super organized, everything in its place, labeled so you can just pull them out? How do you do it? I would love to know what you like to grow. What's your favorite food to grow? Is it a food or a flower? Maybe your favorite thing to grow is flower.